he has been incredibly good, and that's why we bring in Carlos Estévez of the LA Angels, the American League reliever of the month. Carlos, congratulations. It's great to see you. Your numbers, man, unbelievable. Last 12 appearances, 12 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 11 strikeouts, and 1 walk, 0 earned runs in 10 innings in that month, and 8 for 8 in save chances. How have you been so effective?
Man, first of all, thank you guys for having me. But, it's just the hard work, the executing of the pitches and staying away from the middle of the zone. I think that's one thing is going to play.
Well, hang on. Speaking of staying away from the middle of the zone, that's what I like about you. Great job limiting walks this season. 11% walk rate last year, 3.9% this year. Is that a real focus for you?
Honestly, yes, man. Like I said before, for me last year was a learning point, even knowing I did pretty good. But for me, closing a full time was a first thing last year. So I emphasize more on staying through the zone because late in the game, I always pitch late in the game. But in the 9th inning, it's like everyone is trying to hurt you some way, somehow. And I think that was going to be a way for me to get better.
Carlos, Yonder Alonso here. I don't know about just because you were closing, because you had filthy stuff, man. I remember playing with you in Colorado. I don't care if you came in the 7th, in the 8th, in the 9th. It was closer mentality for you. But I did wanted to ask you about that pitch usage, because in Colorado, it was a lot more fastball, changeup, slider. You kind of got away from that a couple years ago, and now you're kind of back into it, throwing that slider at the 26% rate. Now these hitters, all of a sudden, it's not really a 2-pitch thing that they're going after. It's 3 pitches with really good locations. Talk to me about that process.
Man, like you said, I always had that mentality up there. Up there, you gotta have that mentality always, man, because it's really tough to pitch up there, and the situations you get there, even with a 5-run lead, still like a 1-run lead over there. But I try to think about that too, like you said. Try to bring my mix into my pitching now again. Because last year I fell a lot into, throwing sliders to everyone, lefty, righty, whoever. It's not like it's not a good pitch, but you were a lefty power hitter, man. You were wishing for a slider coming into you.
In Colorado,
yeah, of course. And that's one thing I really noticed, man. And I was like, time to bring back the changeup, and he's been playing really well for me too.
Hey, Carlos, Cliff Floyd. So you talked about last season. So I want to take you back to the last couple of months to get to the off season, because we always think it's physical, right? You got to get in the gym, you got to work out. What about the mental side of understanding your last 2 months and what you want the race, getting to spring training, and to the start you have right now?
Man, it's like you said, everyone thinks about the physical side, but man, the mental side is the toughest one. And every player, you guys know, you play for a long time, and that's the toughest part. And for me, I had to, figure out like how to stay sharp, even knowing I wasn't getting into a lot of games. But I knew that when I was going to get into a game, it was going to be, right on crunch time, and I was going to have to execute. And I thought about it. I started watching some film of some other closers and some guys that have been doing it for a really long time. And one thing that really brought my attention was the calmness. Like, they were playing with the time. They were, until they didn't let go of the baseball, there was no game. I get it. We got the pitch clock and all this stuff. But those guys really don't care anymore. They just get to like 1 second, and then they'll execute their pitch, and they're like, oh, man, I thought it was going to be a pitch clock violation. And, that's one thing, I brought into my game too.
Love it.
Man, look, the realness is real, right? You guys are 37-53. You guys have lost 7 of your last 8. The talk is talk, right? Everybody's going to be wanting bullpen help. Everybody's going to be wanting an elite closer like yourself. What's that mindset like every single day, man? Going out there and understanding that you might be here on Monday, but maybe Friday you won't be. How's that like?
Honestly, you know me, man. I go day by day. Yeah. I go day by day. That's the most I can control, man. If I can control that, that's the one thing I'm gonna worry about. Because on the business side, on the movement side, I got anything to do with it, and I'm just gonna focus with whoever I'm in, like whoever I'm at. I'm okay with it. I just need the opportunity to go out there and help my team win. That's all I need.
And you talked about the pitch clock. What about going from Coors Field to Los Angeles? You got it plays right. It plays in your mind.
Of course it does. Whoever says it doesn't, they're lying, man.
Right.
Come on. I pitched up there for 7 seasons. Part of 7 seasons, and it was really tough. Later on my career over there, I was finding some spots where I learned how to pitch better at Coors Field. But coming down here, man, my slider is back to be, you know, really sharp. Like whenever I was on the road over there, like when I was at San Diego, in Atlanta, felt great throwing the breaking ball. Whenever I got to Coors Field, I was like, let me stick to my changeup because that's gonna help me a lot more. And you know, being away from there, even my fastball plays better. And that's one thing you don't really think about it when you're out there, but when you come out of it, you feel the difference, man.
Hey, a quick follow-up. When you talk about your slider, were you changing in Colorado? Were you always like messing with it, thinking that you had to do something different because it wasn't doing what you wanted to do?
Exactly, man. Exactly. I was always changing something, and even, you know, even from the coaching staff, I always heard like, man, you're gonna do the same. But you know, at the same time, it's kind of tough. It comes the mental side right there. And, you know, later on my career, the last 2 years up there, I started throwing more my slider. And don't worry about it. How was it? If it was like a loopy slider or whatever, because I was not going to play up there. I just focused on throwing it hard down in the zone, and let's see what's going to happen.
Nice.
And that's how it paid out well.
Let me tell you, man, one of the better teammates that I've been around, a closer who usually doesn't get involved into a game until like the 6th or 7th inning.
Right.
Dude, this guy, as a teammate, because I want everybody to know this, because when you're trying to like maybe get somebody or sign somebody, they might not know that aspect of it, but I'll give you that thumbs up, man. You're an unbelievable teammate, always concerned about what guys are doing offensively, defensively, and outside the stadium. A true class to be around you and a winner.
Nice.
So I can't wait for you to go out there and show out and continue to show out throughout the year, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for that. And
yeah, man.
It's something I don't try to do. It's just I feel it's just natural, man. I just worry about everyone. That's always right.
Yep.
Listen, Carlos, we got to know what you are as a person, but I want to know more about your love of anime, okay? Last thing, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Naruto. Apparently you want to come out like a ninja. Talk to me.
Man, you know, I always watch anime, man, since I was like 8 or 9, and I started watching Dragon Ball really early. And I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, like a lot of my Latino friends. And it's something, like I said, it comes with us. And ever since, I've been watching a lot of anime, Naruto, One Piece, Black Clover, a lot of stuff, man. I'm always watching something. And that's one thing, you know, brings a lot into the mentality of the hard work and being a really good person and all this stuff. And that's why I really like those things.
We should get him to do the Come on, baby, give it to me. When you get to that bullpen, after that third out, what is it that you do after?
Bro, I do my Kamehameha. He's like, they call it an energy wave. That's a translation into English.
Okay.
And for you to be able to manifest it, you gotta go through a lot of training. And when you're able to, that means you put a lot of hard work into it, and that's how you eliminate your opponents. You know, Kamehameha. It works, man.
I love it.
Awesome. Carlos, this was great, man. AL Reliever of the Month. Keep it rolling. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. Have a good one.